Hey, welcome everybody. So we have another edition of our roundtable with area storm chasers. We started this here. It's been, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I think we've had three of these. One of them was just kind of a learning experience. Our last one, we had a good talk, we had a good stream, and so we thought, with all the hoopla going on out there about this big severe weather setup for Easter weekend, we thought, let's go ahead and get together tonight. We bring everybody here. We'll kind of go over the models, kind of talk about the setup for this weekend, as well as kind of, giving a listen to some of the storm chasers, see if they are going to be going out, if they have a target area, or what they think of the setup. So, first of all, I want to introduce Matt Jones, and he is with 417 Chasers down around the Springfield area. We got Jeff Smith, Storm Chaser. Now, he's up in Northeast Kansas, but he also works northwest Missouri, western Missouri, eastern Kansas. He pretty much goes everywhere. We've got Isaac Wilson with Nader Boys. Everybody's pretty much familiar with Nader Boys. They've been a part of West Central Missouri storm chasing, as well as local information as well, that we rely on them for. And of course, Levy Schrock, he's down in the bottom right hand side. He's also part of Nader Boys. And then we got our fresh pup in here tonight. We got Andy Hicks, and he is with Team Havoc, and they have been avid storm chasers for a number of years. They love it. They have that passion, but they're just now starting to get streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. So very excited to have him on board as well. And I think most people understand the reason why. A guy like me, like a forecaster, I'd love to go chase storms, but I don't do it. I'd love to have eyes on the ground because, I can only stare at a radar for so long. Without knowing what's on the ground, it's really hard to determine, hey, is this really putting down hail? Is this really producing 70-mile-per-hour winds? And I want guys down on the ground so that I can rely on, and we can share their streams right here in West Central Missouri, Southwest Missouri, Northeast Kansas, because, even if Jeff might be down, say, in the, Eastern Kansas, whatever's out there, likely is going to be heading our way. So we kind of get a snapshot of what's going on. So, fellas, let's start with Matt Jones. 417 down in Springfield, Matt. Now, I'm just going to give you my quick thought before we jump into the models. I'm not overly impressed with the setups here over the next 3 or 4 days for severe weather. Now, we're going to get quite a bit of rain, but as far as the severe weather goes, it's going to be kind of messy out there the next few days. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I agree. I think here it's going to be, and I don't think it's going to be consistent rain. I think it's going to be kind of a couple of waves, and I don't really see that the ingredients are really there to have, just all the models right now. The Cape values are low, the temperature's not right. It just looks like just normal rainstorm, maybe a little hail. There's a couple photograph runs that I'm going to be watching over the next couple of days and see if they stick with it. Kind of a like Saturday afternoon. There's a couple runs out to the east that I'm going to be watching, but other than that, it just down here it just looks like it's going to be a wet, nasty weekend.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Now we had talked a little bit before this little roundtable, and I was kind of mentioning to Jeff Smith that up there in Northeast Kansas, there's going to be a little bit of a potential of seeing maybe a little stronger setup up there. Now, it seems like every model run and keep pushing it a little bit further north and a little bit further north and a little bit further. So, Jeff, what's your take on everything?
I think for us, like up in this area, very, very northeast tip of Kansas, looking at like south east. Nebraska, southwest Iowa, over more so actually central Iowa even as well, and northwest Missouri is going to start getting things kicked off tomorrow evening, it looks like. I know that's kind of been the hot topic right now with a slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center. Also looking at, there is a 2% tornado risk that kind of covers those general areas as well. But the primary threats, I think, are going to be more so strong winds and hail. They've talked the potential for lime-size hail as well as pool ball size hail, with a pretty good 15% hatched area. Most of that encompasses that western side of Iowa. I've been watching it pretty close myself, trying to time it between my daytime job and if I could make a run for it. If I do decide to make a run for it, I'm kind of looking at targeting kind of the Nebraska City, Nebraska, Iowa, let's see, Shenandoah, Iowa, Clarinda, Iowa, kind of that general area is what I'm keeping an eye on. Just south of Omaha there in that Council Bluffs, Iowa area is where I'm watching closely for the potential. And that's tomorrow night, of course.
Jeff is actually going to get, he's going to get the first wave, so to speak, of this severe weather up there in that area he was talking. So for those of you that are watching the stream, and guys are going to see this too, I'm just going to show you guys the Storm Prediction Center, what the outlook is for the next couple, 3 days, so you guys can kind of follow along what Jeff was talking about. So let's go ahead and I will show you guys, and I'm also going to put you guys here too so you guys can see. So this is going to be for mainly overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning for us here, mainly in west central Missouri, eastern Kansas. And this is going to be primarily a hail event, if anything. We're talking very borderline risk here. It's very cold once you get up there beyond the 10 to 18,000 feet level. Very cold, productive, very producive of hail. But the Cape values, actually, Matt mentioned just a little bit ago about how the Cape values are really low. And for those of you who don't know what Cape is, that is a convective available potential energy. That's what Cape stands for. That's the energy that is needed for these thunderstorms to really get going and sustain themselves over time. And it's just not... Actually, all weekend it is not very impressive, but you know, it doesn't take a lot of Cape. It takes, you know, we typically want to see, in order for a strong thunderstorm, at least 600, but you know, we really start looking when it gets up to over 1,000. And there's several outbreaks that happened last year that we're talking Cape values over 6,000. So, I mean, that's when you start getting into your severe weather outbreaks, tornado outbreaks. But this is very borderline. And then, of course, what Jeff was talking about, the tornado risk for overnight tonight and tomorrow morning, less than 2%. There's not a chance of a tornado with any of these cells overnight tonight. The hail, now that is the biggest threat with any of these cells. The wind threat, it's there, but I really don't think that's. I think hail is going to be it for tonight into tomorrow morning. So then we go into day 2, and let's just jump over here to day 2. Where are you? There you are. So this is what Jeff had talked about a second ago. You notice how we have that slight risk up here into Iowa, into Nebraska, far northern Missouri. We'll take a look at the models here in just a second. They keep pushing the firing line here a little bit further to the north, a little further to the east, and that, I believe, we are going to be under a very, very strong cap. And that is what I am afraid that by the time all the best ingredients finally get there, the cap's still in place, and when the cap finally busts, the ingredients aren't there anymore. So, and what Matt had talked about, a very wet, kind of messy storm system here over the next few days, but there is potential, because what we're relying on, what these storm chasers are relying on, is where these fronts are going to end up, because it's going to play a very integral part where these fronts end up at. And I've got a couple of examples that I'll show you guys here in just a moment. And then, of course, we go to day 3. And that's when we start to see that larger slight risk from all the way up the Michigan down to Texas diagonally. And this is going to be along a cold front that's going to be pushing through. Again, it's where this cold front sets up right now. It's looking like most of west central Missouri is actually going to be on the cold side of this thing. Maybe down toward Matt, down toward Springfield, Branson, but even some of the models we're going to show here in a minute is showing that front sagging all the way south of I-44 by the time it starts getting its act together on Friday. So, it's such a conditional threat out there right now that I don't know, guys. It's gonna be a tough chase, that's for sure. So, Levy, Isaac, West Central Missouri, homegrown boys, talk to me. What's your take? You kind of feel like the consensus, the rest of it so far?
Basically, yeah. Just gonna kind of see how it goes. So I'm not going to make any plans necessarily to go out, like commit to anything right now. Just kind of see how things evolve. So,
and I'll be up there Sunday. So if something does spark up on Sunday by chance, maybe we could get out. But right now, It's looking like a lot of rain, in my opinion.
And I totally agree. And I know we have a couple of chasers that's actually here in the chat tonight, and they're even talking about not chasing tomorrow. Friday, man, it's such a gimme on Friday. I have a feeling by tomorrow, SPC is going to have that slight risk for Friday shifted a little bit further south. I really do, and I think it's going to take a lot of us out of that slight risk. And again, there's so many things that I'm looking at. Let's just jump over. What I want to take a look at here real quick is I'm going to share this with you guys. We're going to take a look at the HRRR, mainly for Jeff, overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, that I want to share with everybody here, and I'm going to share with the viewers as well. So this is the HRRR. That is a kind of a high-resolution, short-term model. It allows the sampling of weather balloon data as well as weather station data, and we get a good idea once it becomes around 36 hours before the event. We get a good snapshot of what could happen. So I'm going to put this into play here, and you notice that once we get to about midnight tonight, we start to see the caps start to lessen a little bit. A few thunderstorms begin to roll into eastern Kansas. Now, these are going to be the cells that's going to be moving into west central Missouri about 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. That does have that potential of a hailer or two with this. But the tornado risk, the high wind risk is pretty much nil with these cells. And then, of course, as it goes through west central Missouri, even clipping down around Greene County, down around Matt's area, could see a couple hailers down there as well. And then it moves off. And then, of course, we jump into tomorrow night, and I don't think it's going to sit there and get us quite that far. We'll have to go to another model. We'll take a look. For matter of fact, let's take a look at this here real quick. So we're going to jump over to Friday. Okay, well, we were talking about Friday being such a conditional severe threat and why we're paying such close attention to where that front is going to be. And I'm going to show you 3 examples with 3 different models showing that front being in 3 different locations. And then you wonder how come Jeff doesn't have any hair left. Or Levy. But what we're looking at right now is the European model. And we are 7 o'clock Friday night. Actually, we're going to back this up to, say, 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon. As of right now, we are still under a cap. And it's a strong cap. The cap's not going to break till probably 7, 8, 9 o'clock maybe on Friday night. Right now, take a look at these winds. So you see you have north winds coming in, you've got south winds coming up. Right here is the front, guys. From Marshall, Moberly, down to Warrensburg, Butler, Redfield, and on into Oklahoma. Now, as we go into... Now, that's 4 o'clock. That's the European. Now, take a look at the GFS. Same time. See how much further north it is. It's stretched from Marshall to Harrisonville, Paola, Garnett, Eureka. And then we go to the Icon model, and it's all the way down here almost to south of Nevada, just right along a Hermitage, Bolivar, Lockwood, Joplin area. So, if you know, my forecast was sit there and showing, well, on Friday, Harrisonville could have a high of 55, and Joplin can have the high of 74. You know, so, I mean, it's going to be a very sharp drop-off in temperatures as well as a sharp drop-off in thunderstorm development. Now, I do think some thunderstorms are going to fire up behind this front, but we're not going to have... they're going to be elevated. What that means is I look at some data and it's showing that the clouds forming at, you know, say 10, 12,000 feet above our heads. Well, in order for your real big supercells, your mesocyclones, you want a very low-topped thunderstorm, like sitting down there around 1,500, 3,000 feet, and it's not going to be there. These are going to be elevated thunderstorms, hail producers, possibly, that's going to be behind this front. So even though I don't want to lessen the fact that we're not going to get any severe thunderstorms in west central Missouri on Friday, but we still have that potential for large hail. We all know the damage large hail can do. We do need to take it seriously, but the tornado threat with any of these setups are just horrible right now. So we take a look at the European model, and I just want to bring this over to Friday. And there's Friday, 4 p.m. So we're talking 7 o'clock, the cap breaks. Where is that front going to be at 7 o'clock? We just seen 3 different locations. And it will play a part of an isolated tornado threat, strong wind event, and hail versus just garden variety thunderstorms and maybe a hailer or 2, depending on where that front sets up, who's behind it, who's in front of it. So, you know, for you guys out there trying to chase this, you know, it's going to be, you know, we're getting close to dark on Friday. It is just not the most ideal setup. So, I don't know, you know, it's definitely something we have to continue to watch as we go forward, because I don't know about you guys, I need another picture like Andy Hicks sent to me last Wednesday morning. And for those of you guys that don't know, Andy was the one that sent me the picture of the twin tornadoes that happened in Bates County. He was along 18 highway, got a nice photo, especially after he enhanced it. You could really see the cone shape on that tornado that was produced a tornado warning for Bates, Henry, into Pettis County. So this is awesome. And of course, we want Andy to be safe. He's been doing it a long time. He knows what he's doing. He has the team that has the photographer. He has the radar operator. So all of these guys know what they're doing out there. And as soon as Andy sent me that picture, I sent it to Bates County. We actually, when I was live, we picked up that rotation before the tornado warning was issued. And I went ahead and told everybody they need to get in their safe spot. And the Sheriff Chad Anderson over at Bates County, who follows my page, he went ahead and sent out a tornado emergency out to Bates County, and he already had deputies out there getting everybody into shelter about 7 minutes before they issued that tornado warning. So luckily it was an EF0. It had some minor damage, but exactly the reasons why we need these guys, these storm chasers out there on the field to be able to get us an idea what's going on, because I go cross-eyed looking at the dang radar maps, and they kind of bring it to life for me. So going to take a look at chat here real quick and just kind of see if there's any questions. We had Missy, she's saying hi to everybody. Dane Preston, he's from Ohio. He's joining in here in the chat. Hi, Dane. Good to have you. We got Sally from Warsaw. Of course, Catherine said she's not chasing tomorrow. So Shelly's just sounds like rain, or just rain sounds awesome to her, is what she said. So I was talking about how sharp that dry line was for Friday last night. Yep. Have to see if Kevin wants to chase or not. They're still up in the air on Friday. So, we appreciate you guys coming into the stream. If you guys have any questions for me or for any of these guys, feel free to utilize the chat. Like I said, this is very informal. We just kick back. We're taking a look at these models, taking a look at maybe what the game plan is for this week. And I know on social media, there's a ton of talk, and it has been all week, about this setup and whether, and I'm not dogging these guys do a fantastic job, your Ryan Halls and your Max Velocity, and they got out there early, started talking about how what a big system this is going to be and how it's going to wreak havoc in the Midwest, and we're going to have a very broad area of severe weather across the middle part of the country, but this is really not quite the 1-2 punch that we're not going to have, thankfully, because it's over Easter weekend, and we don't need, there's going to be people that's going to be having plans outside and traveling, and we don't need that, so I guess this is good news for me. So I can still go on my Easter egg hunt on Sunday, but it's bad news for your chasers because you guys don't get a chance to get out. But I think overall, it's we still need to stay weather aware. We still need to pay attention, and I know I don't mean to downplay the hail. Because actually hail probably causes, I don't know if this is the actual fact, but hail probably causes more damage per year than probably what tornadoes do, I say in general. We had one cell come through, this was last spring, that dropped baseball-sized hail here in Clinton, and just about every house in the city of Clinton got a new roof, and there was cars totaled out, and I mean this was a big deal, and I don't know what the total cost on that was, but I don't want to downplay the hail potential, but that's something that we can see coming from a long ways away. We can get warnings out, get your cars under the carport, put your noodles on top of your house to protect your roof, and we can handle that. But I just don't want to see that threat for tornadoes. They're beautiful when they're out in an open field, but we just don't like for them to sit there and take out a populated area. Joan mentioned rain would be lovely, praying no bad storms or damage. Sometimes, well, we are in Warsaw, sometimes in Archie, and these storms sometimes are no joke. So thankful for all the information you share to keep us safe. So, good job on that, guys. And so let's kind of move this forward just a little bit on this European model, because I want to kind of showcase, we're in this active stretch. For those of you that follow me know that I'm a big proponent of the LRC. I see it time and time again. It is just absolutely fascinating. So, we have been calling for this middle of the month storm now since about a day after Thanksgiving. And thankfully, we knew we were going to get some rain out of it. I think most of west central Missouri, we're looking at about 2 inches of rain by the time Tuesday rolls around. But the LRC has also hinted at another minor storm system that I think might even have a better chance to produce severe weather as we go into next Tuesday, Wednesday. And I am going to shoot this across here real quick, and then I will show you guys. That's good. I think it's the 22nd, 23rd on my LRC calendar, I believe. See what I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. You guys can see what I'm looking at here. And for those of you at home, so take a look what the European is showing. And so we do have some thunderstorms on the 23rd and that looked like on the 24th. Kind of looked like kind of a messy system. Take a look at a skew-T. So what a sounding is, guys, and we're not going to get into the sounding because it'd take us all night long. Basically what we look at right here is the CAPE, what we were talking about, that convective available potential energy. This gives us what that number is, and the CINH, that's the convective inhibition. That's what the higher that number is, the less likely we're going to see thunderstorms, because it's a cap. Just like a steaming pot of water, you put a lid on it, and there's nothing that comes up. You take that lid off and all the steam comes up. Those are the clouds that will form. That gives us an idea on that. And then, of course, we want to look at wind shear, and that's what these little wind flags are right here. It tells us the direction and the speed of the wind as we go up in height. So I like to look at these, just kind of see what we have going on at different levels. I do want to get back on the 23rd, right before these thunderstorms here. Let's take a look at the sounding here. See if we have any moisture. So, marginally severe. We don't really have that wind change in direction and height. That's what you have to have. That's wind shear. You got 4 ingredients of a severe thunderstorm. You got instability. You have to have moisture. You have to have a lifting mechanism like a cold front. And then, of course, you have to have wind shear. And it's lacking just a little bit on the wind shear side of this right now. So it does look like it gets very cold. This red line is the actual temperature. Okay, that's what this red line is. And you're going up in the atmosphere. And notice how it's bottoming out over here, minus 10, minus 20 degrees Celsius. Very cold up above. So that pretty much is telling me that there's probably another hail event that's possible on the 23rd, 24th. But we're so far out, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, because I think this system might have a better chance to produce severe weather than even this system coming in over the weekend. But again, we're still a couple days out, from this system. Anything can happen. That front could maybe hold up, maybe 100 miles to the north, and we might see a little bit more widespread severe weather. But from the info and the data we got right now, it's looking like this should be a relatively minor event for most of Missouri and eastern Kansas right now. So, to all the storm chasers, thank you, and thanks for keeping us updated. Appreciate you guys so much. So thank you, Terry. Appreciate that comment. And but yeah, I think next Tuesday, Wednesday be something we're gonna have to keep up with, and hopefully be able to get. I want to see Andy back out there chasing those storms. I know he is fired up. Andy, since you're the new guy, we haven't heard from you very much. Tell us. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Tell us a little bit about who you have on your team, what you guys have got set up, what you guys have going on out there.
Yeah, so we're just kind of a group of guys that basically works together. Like I said, I love chasing. Kind of got them guys brought on board. Jeff, he's our driver. I run radar. Zach, he is the photographer, videographer, stuff like that. And Dale, he's kind of just the ride-along guy, extra camera, whatnot, extra radar guy, whatever we need. But yeah, so this chase that we had a couple weeks ago, the Ballard tornado, that was the only one that was with me on that one was Zach. And that was his first time ever chasing. And yeah, it was pretty entertaining seeing his reactions out of it and everything. And we got done at the end of the chase, and he's like, "Well, what do I do now?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Go home and get some sleep." He goes, "After that, I can't do that. We got to keep going." So yeah, but just a group of buddies that kind of just brought the team together, made the team up, and looking forward to chasing and keeping an eye out for everyone in the community, and not only West Central Missouri as well, Western Missouri, Southern Missouri, just kind of like this storm system that's coming in this weekend. Like you guys, not overly impressed with it, but I took the day off Friday just in case stuff changes, and really kind of watching kind of that Southern Missouri. But even then, it's so widespread. It's hard to tell right now. Just keeping an eye on the model daily and every update. We'll see what happens.
Excellent. So I'm really going to put you on the spot now. Now, I don't want any help. You don't have phone a friend, none of that kind of stuff going on. But I'm going to put you on the spot right now, Andy, and we're going to see if you're a true storm chaser. Are you ready for this? All right. Yep. Here's the question. What's the number one thing that you have to have in a storm chase? What's the number one thing you have to have in your vehicle at all times? Number one.
That is tough because there's a lot of things.
There's only one. It's only one.
One thing.
Only one right answer.
The essential.
I'm a big hunter too. I always like to have toilet paper with me. So.
Oh, that's after the fact.
That's pretty good, but that's not the right answer, guys. The count of three. Let's tell them. Count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Snacks.
Snacks.
You gotta have snacks. Oh, that's awesome. Well, Andy, I tell you what, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you being on here with us, and for all you guys. I think this is great for the community to see us, in our informal way, sitting here, guys talking about storms. The number one, Andy hit the nail on the head. Number one thing we do, all of us, is we try to keep our community safe. And as we continue to grow and continue to utilize each other and build up each other's platform, right down here on the bottom, guys, there is a scroll that has each one of their their YouTube page, their Facebook page. Give them a follow, guys. Jump over to YouTube. You'll get notified. You subscribe, hit the little bell, subscribe, and like their channel, and you'll be notified whenever they go live. And, you know, hopefully we do this a few more times. You guys will get feeling a lot more comfortable talking to these guys, and you guys will get to love them just like I do, or else I wouldn't be sitting here trying to boost up their channels. But that's one thing we all have, is that common goal to keep our community safe. So, Jeff, Matt, Isaac, Andy, Levy, thank you guys so much. And again, if anybody out there that has any questions for any of us, feel free to reach out, and we'll be more than happy to answer you guys. We've got Springfield covered. We've got Maryville, Missouri, we got St. Joe, we got Kansas City Metro, we have Eastern Kansas, we got West Central Missouri, Western Missouri, Southwest Missouri. We have it all covered here, guys. So I do appreciate taking time out and talking with everybody tonight. And for you guys at home, we hope you guys appreciate these little round tables, I call them, with the guys, and kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on, what our thinking is on this. And again, I think our general consensus, we still need to be weather aware, both tonight late and tomorrow morning for a couple hailers. Thursday, I think Jeff is going to be watching that northwest Missouri, northern Missouri for the potential of any activity. And then on Friday, again, we're going to have to find out exactly where that front sets up. But I think all of us has that potential to see a couple hailers and maybe a couple wind gusts, depending on where that cold front ends up setting up when the cap breaks and we start to get thunderstorms Friday night after 7 o'clock. So I think that's going to do it for us. I've looked at chat. We have a lot of people talking about how appreciative they are to have all of us together. So thank you guys for having all the kind words out there for the Chasers and myself. And I guess until next time, make sure you follow all of these guys on their social media platforms. We are definitely going to, I can sing in front of people, but talking is scary. Anyway, reading some of the comments on there is pretty good. You guys are going to have to go back and rewatch this tonight. Some of them are pretty good. But anyway, I appreciate all the comments. And guys, thank you for your time. Everybody stay weather aware, and we'll be talking to you all soon.